go.
Let's
Okay,
go.
let's go.
Are you gonna do three, two,
Yes.
one?
3, 2, 1.
All
Hey,
right. Hi. How are
hey,
you?
good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so grateful to be here with you
Same,
today.
same.
Thank you for taking the time.
Thank
And
you.
I know that there is so much that we can talk about.
Yes.
And I'm like, which direction am I going to go into? But the first thing that comes to mind is actually family constellations,
Okay.
because it's the thing that you've been deeply studying and sharing with your community. And I've actually never done family constellations. And maybe you'll be the first person that I do it with, because I don't know if there's resistance, but there's something that hasn't taken me there yet.
Okay. Okay. Well, the thing about family constellations, first of all, I could never do yours because I know you. So
Okay.
that's one rule of thumb that we have. So we refer each other. So my friends, for example, I can't do. Family, definitely not. Absolutely not. Um, and the people that we know, I can't even represent for them. So family constellations, it was discovered and developed by Bert Hellinger, who's a German man who's done a lot of studying. So he's got, and then became a priest, etc. Anyway, so he roamed around Africa and checked out the Zulu tribes and found out a lot of interesting dynamics between them and how the dynamics between the tribes and the people in the families and the groups all really are the same, and that we kind of carry out our family of origin, we carry out the same dynamics in our life energetically. So, whatever system we had that we grew up in terms of father, mother, siblings, and then there's also the grandparents and the ancestors as well in there. So, depending on what we're working on that day, you'll have different people that are going to come in, and you can go very far or close. So, really, what family constellations are looking for are the patterns and the dynamics that we recreate in our lives that we're not aware of, 100% not aware of, how where the flow of love has been interrupted. So that we receive love, we're created in love, right, through a man and a woman, and we're birthed, and then we are love, and then the flow of love will be interrupted somewhere in that dynamic. And it could have, and if it was interrupted from my mother, from her parents, then it will be interrupted from me, because if she didn't receive it, she can't give it, right? If her heart is closed, she can't give me love, and therefore I go in life and I have got this numbness, or I've got this, I don't feel, I don't feel good in life. People have suicidal tendencies, etc., and they don't know where it comes from. It's like, why am I different? So there are so many different complex. It goes down to literally things such as having anemia,
Wow.
ADHD, things like that, where being dyslexic, and dyslexia could be represented by a parent, and the parent is the energy of dyslexia, and that child had that dysfunction with that parent and just took it on. So people sit down, and usually, so what I love about it very much is family constellations will bypass your conscious mind, meaning all the stories of the ego. So usually somebody, will say, I have this issue because I do this and I do this and I do that, right? That usually is a story that is keeping them from the actual truth. And that's usually the story that we keep repeating to ourselves again and again. It's like we're convincing ourselves because we don't, that the ego is not allowing us to see the truth behind it. So in constellations, it bypasses all of that. Usually, so how it goes is there's a client and they come and sit, and they speak as little as possible. So the whole like, I'm going through this and my breakup and then my ex-husband and my ex-wife and then, no, none of that. It's like, what do you want to work on? Take a breath. Just quickly, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? And usually, people come with an idea and it doesn't always come out the same, something else emerges when they sit on that chair. And they'll say, I want to work on this. So I'll collect, or the constellator will collect, just data, as in, are your parents alive? Are they together? Do you have siblings? Just data, real data. Nothing about relationship or dynamics or whatever. And then if we're doing a constellation, which are the best, with actual representatives, meaning other people are there to represent the different energies, then it's fantastic. Then we'll say, okay, so pick somebody for this energy. Let's say work, your mother, your father, your brother, and we start the constellation. The client will get up and place them in what we call the morphogenetic field. The morphogenetic field is the field where all the energy is, and these people are going to represent. So this client will place them there in different directions, in different places. Some of them might be seated, standing, looking at the wall, looking there, and then the client's just going to sit and look at that, and it starts the whatever is happening inside energetically of how we hold our constellation, how we hold the dynamics, the distance between people, the not distance, the presence, non-presence is right there, just like a screen, like a movie, and you're seeing what's happening. And the representatives, so the people there, then we check with them and we see how they're feeling in their body. So we're switching off this as much as possible. The mind is off and we're going into the body, and they'll tell you, I'm feeling really nauseous, or I'm feeling really angry, I don't know why. And they're feeling the energies of being in that constellation. And the client is experiencing that, all of those energies interacting with each other and moving. And one might say, I don't feel comfortable here, I want to move to the end of the room. And so all of those movements are happening, and we're discovering what are the dynamics in that constellation of that person, what the issues are. The client will then be presented with a solution down the line after we've understood what is happening there, and the client can choose to move along with the solution, it is usually a movement that reestablishes either hierarchy, equality, love, the flow of love, so that the system is functional again, which is the system which is here. Very often, and this is when we know we're kind of getting somewhere, and it's always getting somewhere, it's when the client is just really in tune, and you can see the mind is trying to get in to stop it and understand. It's like, but I don't understand, what is this? I feel confused. That confusion is very good. It says, my body's recognizing, but this one is saying I need to understand, because I want to stop this. And we often get those feelings of, this is not what I came for. What is this that's being shown? I came to solve this. Like somebody will come and say, I want to fix my relationship with my partner. And it's a whole thing about their father or their mother or the sibling or an abortion they had or whatever. And it has not, I don't want to talk about that, because our mind, our body is really, really good at keeping suppressed the truth of what it is that's making us unable to do things, and telling us a beautiful story about something else, which is either it's another person, or I'm broken, or it's the country, or whatever it is, which is keeping us from the actual truth. And I've studied about 6-7 different modalities. This one by far is the most efficient, the most it brings results insanely. After the constellation, the rule is to not talk about it at all, not even to yourself. It's like you do it, you forget it. Your body went through it. Your body experienced it on a somatic level, on an energetic level. So don't talk about it to your friends. Don't overanalyze it. And people who do it the first time, they will be calling the next day or sending a message like, but can you explain to me who that person was, or what did they represent? Because I'm still not sure what that energy was. Sometimes we don't know what the energy is the body recognizes it, but it's like, was it my father or my mother? Was that, I don't know. And you just leave it at that. It's like, stop thinking about it. Your body knows, and it's going to readjust properly. And don't talk about it to anybody else. And you usually don't do a constellation for at least a month after, so that you let that one settle in, and it takes time for it to settle in. But then what we see in the world is that the heart opens up more, and things start changing. So people will just report, I don't have that issue that much anymore, or things changed in my life, or I quit. I had a friend who said, I quit my job. Oh. I quit my job, and this other opportunity kind of showed up, and I don't want to read into it, but it's happening. Like, I'm happy. I'm better, and I'm happy. That's all you want to hear. It's not so much about understanding. I think we get lost with the understanding so much.
I was going to say, I love that the part where you don't need to overanalyze what happened is really present with family constellations, because I find that with healing in general, the mind does interfere. It does want to come in. It does want to explain why you are feeling a certain way. It does get stuck in the stories of the past. And I've been that type of person. I went into my past and dissected like as much as I possibly could. And I got tired. I
Yeah.
got really, really tired of
Yeah.
doing that. And when I work with people, I try to avoid doing that, rather allowing people to feel what they're feeling without going into the story. It's like, can you allow yourself to feel the sadness without saying why you're sad? Or to go into the anger without saying, oh, I'm angry because of this. And I feel like that allows the person to really drop into the wisdom of the body, which is ultimately what we want, right? The body is really wise and perhaps much wiser than we give it credit.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I think the more we allow is the key word really, because it's, can I allow nature to be nature? So just the same way we allow nature, I mean, to a certain extent, because we have dominated, and destroyed nature a lot as well. But can we allow nature to grow as it grows and move as it moves and goes through the season as it does without us trying to control it? It's the same thing with the human nature. Is, can I allow how this functions, how this was designed, all of it, to function, right? Can I allow it to function without trying to control it? And the control thing comes from obviously our upbringing and the conditionment, the domestication of us, which is, if I control things, then I'm safe. That's the wrongest message we've ever been told, but we've been told that message in so many little ways, in every little thing we did growing up. Just as simple as when you're smiling as a child or laughing, nobody comes to you and says why you're laughing or why you're smiling. But if you're crying, it's like, why are you crying? Just that why you're crying says, oh, there's something different about crying that is not normal or is not okay. Because I'm not asked that when I'm smiling and I'm just giggling, right? It's just in those things. So the judgments are very subtle, but they do come through, and the child absorbs them as in, this is different than this, because he's trying to make sense of the world, right? And when we realize that with ourselves is, I don't question when I'm joyful, mostly. There are people that are completely opposite, is they fear the joy. And when they're joyful, like, oh, if something's wrong, I'm happy. I'm not taking care of something. I shouldn't be happy. I shouldn't be this happy. I'm not allowed to be this happy. But we always have a judgment somewhere, as opposed to, can I just allow it to be what it is? Can I? What would happen if I cried without understanding why I'm crying? What would happen? Nothing. An emotion has come up. It's going through me, which is through my waters. Our waters are our emotional body. It is moving through me, and it is giving me the time to release, and it releases through tears. It releases through the voice. We scream sometimes. No, a lot of people don't scream anymore. Screaming. People used to go to the forest and just scream. I mean, now we have retreats where people just go to scream, like the women retreats where they go into the forest and they scream for days because they've got so much pent up anger. Same with the men. Men, they use boxing and all of these things to release that anger, that rage, whatever. That's all emotion, energy, emotion. It's the waters are moving, and they're saying, I need to move through this body. I can't be contained like this. It's stagnation, and that stagnation, that pressure, is the depression that we get into. Is because there's so much that then we need to compress it, depress it, and the pressure is gone. But we feel that heaviness, So it's like, release. You want to cry, cry. Put a song. Sometimes a song comes on and you cry, and you don't know why. And there's no why to just cry it, and then you're done crying, and then the next song comes on, and that's it. You move. It's not, oh my God, I cried. I don't know why. And we have it with. Sometimes I have friends that call me. It's like, last night I was just crying. Like, what's going on? I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's my hormones. Maybe it's this. And there's a panic about the emotion being released. And it's like, no, you cried it. It's out. Mm-hmm. Good. Celebrate. Mm-hmm. Now go about your day. That's it. We don't need to understand what happened. Such a beautiful thing to start really trusting nature. Our nature as humans. Just our body knows what it needs to release. It tells you when you're hungry. It tells you when it's thirsty. It tells you when it needs rest, and it tells you when it needs to release emotions.
I love that so much, because that's been the case for me for the last week, I would say. There's been a lot of crying and just allowing myself to cry without understanding why, or go into the story or the narration or trying to fix it or to then say, oh, but maybe I'm depressed, like without giving that title and that meaning of if I'm sad for a few days in a row, then it must mean that I'm depressed. Because I feel like, again, depression is a state where you are disconnected from nature, whereas sadness is very much part of nature's cycle, and it just is the way that things ebb and flow. That's been the case for me, at least that deeper understanding. And coming back to, you know, nature and your natural state, for me, I've realized this, at least in my journey. I became really good at pretending. And I feel like this is what's come up to my awareness recently. It's how good I got at pretending that everything is okay or that I'm okay. When I used to cry, I used to cry in private. No, nobody look at me. I'm gonna do this in my own space, in the shower even, so that like even I don't know that I'm crying, because it's kind of like mixed with the, you know, with the water. And now it's like, okay, I feel like all of that repressed emotion of sadness, of grief, wants to come up, and I'm at a place where I have the capacity to hold more of it. So I'm letting it be. And there's still that teeny tiny version that's like, are you sure you're going to let go of pretending now? Like, are you sure that you are ready to be vulnerable, to be authentic in a way that you've never been before? And I feel like that's been huge for me, because it's like, it was part of my identity to put on a mask of everything is okay. I have it all together all the time. And I'm going to be who you want me to be so that I can be the strong one for you. And
and that's all learned. And you know, it's so beautiful that you shared, so thank you for sharing that. And a lot of people can definitely resonate with that 100%. I think it's 99% of people. You know, there are we've got layers of masks, and what everybody is craving on the deepest level is freedom. But what is freedom? Freedom is there. It's just, it's behind all the masks. And freedom means what? Freedom to be as nature designed me, without having to suppress, to hide. And everybody hides because there is this fear of, I'm not accepted, I'm not lovable, I'm not lovable, accepted, if I am this or this or that, right? And men suffer from it so much as well. I mean, men and emotions is a whole other topic, and it's such a sad thing, because it's we've equated some emotions or not being okay as being weak. And that's just like saying, you know, when the tree loses its leaves, it's weak. It's not weak. It's in a different season. It is going through the season. If it doesn't lose its leaves, it cannot grow new ones. So these are the seasons of lives, as I have to go through all these movements. Movement means aliveness. If I am not in movement emotionally, I am not alive. And that's what we call depression. And depression lands into numbness. Numbness, the next step is, I am not here. I'd rather go. And that's usually the step before suicide, right? So it's, as long as I'm feeling all of it, I am alive. It is a good sign of health. We should be able to go to a doctor and it's like, I'm crying and I'm depressed. Like, good girl, good man, you know, because it means you're alive. And that's okay. And you're going through things and you're feeling things and your body is functioning perfectly. It is when you're numb that you gotta be worried. It's like, how do I get back to feeling alive again? Alive meaning I'm not afraid to feel all of it. And then it's, can I find the courage to feel all of it and be alive in life, in this reality, in this physical world, without feeling that if I am alive, I'm too alive, meaning I cry in front of people or this, then I might be rejected or I might be seen in a different way or whatever. And the thing is, there is no answer to that other than courage. Courage means I've got to do it. And hopefully, with the hope of the people that are going to be around and see that, it ignites something in them that frees them a little bit more to also feel invited to do that as well. because we all want to be free. They might not the first time, and they might first time judge it because they're still judging it within themselves. And they might the first time see it as weakness because they still see that as weakness in themselves. But eventually, it will get them to a place where they start opening up a little bit and say, maybe I could show a little bit more emotion. Maybe I can tell somebody I love them, I like them. Maybe I can, it's okay if I have a few tears. Let's test it out. I'll test it out. Let's see, how I feel about that. And I might go home and be like, you know what, that person didn't like it, but oh my God, I was brave. I did it for me and it felt good. So we're all looking for the same thing, but it's almost like it's either we're going to be sheep waiting for one another. It's like, who's going to take direction first?
Who's going to give me the permission?
Who's going to take out the mask first so I can take out my mask? Or it's like, I'm just going to say, screw it. I'm taking off my mask. And who wants to stay, stays. Who wants to go, go. But God, this breeze on my face feels amazing because this is aliveness. And that really is, it's courage. It really is courage and bravery. And I think a lot of people now are more ready to do so because we've worn masks for so long. We grew up with people wearing layers of masks. We would see a lot of us are very in tune with emotions and people's emotions because we grew up with parents where we could feel their heart. We could see their emotions, but they wouldn't show it. So we learned to wear the mask, but we're like, I don't want to live like that. I want to take off my mask. And we are seeking relationships which are like that. We're seeking relationships of authenticity. It's not about looks. I was having this conversation with a friend. I was like, it's no longer about looks. Everybody looks great. Everybody looks great now. It's 2025. If, you could take a pill and lose weight, you could go to the gym, you could get a surgery, whatever, you look good. Everybody looks good. Everybody's all of that. People are not looking for that anymore. It's all energy work. If you took a person, a man or a woman that were single, and you put in front of them the opposite sex, whatever they're interested in, let's say a man, and you've got 100 women in front of him, and they're all beautiful women, all look good, he would still pick or be drawn to or attracted to a specific one. And they're all pretty, but is that because it's energy with energy. That's it. That's what the attraction is the connection. You can't explain it because it's energetic. It's what is my energy here resonating with there. And it's usually somebody that is within me already. So it's a part of me that is standing there that I've either rejected, that I'm trying to integrate or feel more of, and it's standing right in front of me. So if I can love that one, and if that one loves me, I will integrate it within me. So I'm drawn to that. That's all unconscious, obviously. We don't know. People will give you all sorts of excuses. Like, oh my God, he's tall and she's got this and whatever. It's none of that. It's none of that.
Or actually quite the opposite. It's like the first time that I like this kind of person. I never thought I'd be drawn to this kind of person. And I had this list in my mind of what I really wanted. And then it was the complete opposite of that.
Correct.
But the essence is the same. It's like the essence of what you were connecting to is that. Correct. But then the form of it is so different.
Whenever it's, I would have never gone for this person, and this person would have never been, it's a shift has happened inside of you. So whenever this is definitely nothing like my past, it means something in you has shifted. And now you're ready to look at this part in you that needs to be integrated. So I'm done with that pattern. I'm done with that energy that came in 5 different bodies before. And now I'm ready. That same energy that came in 5 bodies. And I was like, I have healed that. I'm done with that one. That cycle's finished. Now there's a new cycle beginning. And I'm ready for this new energy part of me. And then people will come to you like, oh my God, I would never, blonde, never, ever, and it happens. So it's all energy. And it's so hard to forget in this physical reality. So hard to remember, in this physical reality. We forget it because we're so focused on our senses. And the senses bring data to this mind, and this mind, the ego, the identity comes up with all these stories and whatever. But then it's like when you remove all of that, it is all energy. There's a reason you meet people. You resonate with them and you see them in this reality. And if you met them a year before, a week before, you wouldn't have even noticed them. They wouldn't be in your vision. They're there, but I have no soul business with them. I have no soul business. We've got no soul business. And then there are people you come and it's like electricity. Soul business is so clear. Is you look at each other and it's almost like your souls are saying, "Ha, there you are. Ha, okay, ready to look at you now." Or what are we doing here? And it's like, where you been? And it's all unconscious, but we can feel it, and we're just drawn to that person. And even if you sometimes you deny it, you'll keep bumping into them. They'll keep popping in front of you. Their name will keep popping in places, and you're like, this thing is just following me around. It's asking me to look at it. It's telling me, ready, you ready for this? So energy is literally how we do everything, what everything is about, how we move through life. And the more we allow that and accept that, the faster we expand and grow. Because it's saying, I'm here to do this work, not to run away from it, because that's easy. I go to the polar opposite energy that doesn't do much for me. I repeat the cycles and stay stuck and complain about my stuckness. Or I do the brave thing. I maintain that really life and requires more than anything else in life courage, because I'm always stepping into unknown, meaning unfamiliar. That's what unknown is I have no references for this. That's what it means. So I have no references, therefore I can't make meaning for it, and therefore I don't have knowledge in it, and therefore I feel insecure. So really life is about how much insecurity can you handle. And that's the greatness of the life you're going to have. How much can I handle and befriend the feeling of insecurity as I move forward, trusting that I'll figure it out as I go, and that I'll do my best with what I know then, and I trust that, but I'll keep going. I won't retreat. I won't. You'll meet a lot of people who will pray for something and say, that's all I want, that's all I want. I want this dream job, I want this dream relationship. I'm looking for this person left, right, and center, and this person appears. 1 month in, they escape. 1 month in, they escape. Because they're like, they couldn't handle it. So it's like, because you can pray for something, you can want something, it's all conceptual. When it actually appears, do you have the courage to really be rooted in the ground and stay there and say, I'm going to handle whatever this is going to bring? Because this thing that I'm calling it in for my expansion, which means it's going to be challenging by default. It is going to be challenging, but I can't have it without the challenges, because it needs to change me for me to have it. Otherwise, I would have it already. We'll have what we are a match for. So if I'm wanting something that I don't have, I'm not a match for it yet. This thing that I'm calling in, I know is going to be what's going to bring me there. So when it comes, can I handle all the challenges that it brings and all the movements that it's going to do here? So yeah, it's woo life.
Woo life.
Woo
I
life.
love it.
Fun.
It was really so beautiful listening to all of that. And my mind obviously is like, where am I going to start and what am I going to say? But honestly, I feel like whoever's listening to really take all of that wisdom in and to receive it deeply in your bodies, because it is an energetics thing for sure. I feel like you said, a lot of things can look good externally, but not feel good internally. And it's the same thing with people. You can see people that from the outside have everything: the family, the children, the house, the beauty, the abundance, and deep down they feel so far away from home. They feel so far away from living in their heart, and it takes something big in their lives to shift them and bring them back on that journey. And I feel like that's probably been the case for most people. At least that's been the case in my life, where I had to go so far away to remember how to make my way back home. And when it comes to, like, there's so many different things, when you talk about the courage part, for me, that's been my life for the last few years. It's like, take that leap of faith. And I always share this with people. I'm like, it's called a leap of faith, not a leap of logic. Your mind
I like
doesn't
that.
have a map. You're not going to know. And you don't know if you're going to land on your feet, actually. Maybe you're going to land on your face and you're going to eat some dirt. And that's also okay. It's part of the journey and it's part of the experience. And faith for me has been about like the whole part about insecurity. It's you are going to feel insecure.
100%.
Life is not a safe thing.
Correct.
Life isn't safe. It hasn't been safe, not only in my life, but you read something, you see something, you don't know when you're going to leave this world. That's not a guarantee. So it's not safe in that way. So where are you going to find security? Because if you're going to try to find security in the material world with the material things, it's never going to be safe. You're going to have to find safety in that one eternal, timeless space. Call it God, call it the universe, call it source. If you can source from there and stay connected to that, then the leap of faith becomes a little bit easier because you're literally offering it all just back to that. You're like, I don't know, but this is what's moving in me and I want to move there and I'm going to go there. I'm going to explore it. Maybe no one's explored this place before. It's like unfamiliar, not just to me, but to others. And it's going to look weird to everybody else. And I feel like that's the acceptance that your dance is not going to look the same to other people and you're going to have to look a little bit odd. And that's also part of the play. Like,
Correct. But that's the thing. It's
yeah.
the first part of our life is built out of fear. Simply because we come into this world and we're vulnerable little baby, and the little baby knows immediately that, you know, soul, spirit is in a body that is not able to do what the rest of the people around it are able to do, which means can't feed itself, can't house itself. It's just like, I am 100% dependent on others for my survival. And therefore, and you know, we learn to belong before we learn to be. And those are the two needs in this human experience, which is belonging and being. So the first one is belonging, and that's a survival mechanism that says and it's true, the child needs to belong before they be. Otherwise, you know, it's like if I'm too much, if I do this or I do something wrong, the thought is I'm not going to be fed, I'm going to be thrown out, blah, 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 blah. So we carry that place, and we carry that belonging is the priority. And the second part of our life is being, because belonging does not feed our soul. We didn't come here to belong, we came here to be, right? And in our being, we belong. And that's what we understand later in life, is that when I can be me, is how I belong to humanity, because I come now and I'm able now to see clearly and deliver clearly my mission, what I came here to do, and deliver my service, and what I came here to give, my gift. But first I need to be able to do that. And we all belong, just like every ant belongs, and every tree and every leaf, etc., and has a perfect purpose. But I can't know my purpose until I have learned to be. Who am I? What am I here to do? What is my true voice saying? What is my truth? So the first part of our life is the belonging. And in that belonging, we do what we think we're supposed to do. What we learned, you know, is I need to get the degrees, and I need to go to this. I need to marry this person, and I need to get a job here, and I need to grow in this job here. And then the goal is to get to that promotion. Why? I don't know. Don't ask me that question. You know, I sit with a lot of clients who come, and what you just said is literally a very, very common thing, which is, I have everything, but I'm dead inside. Why? And they feel a sense of betrayal, like life has betrayed them. They have been lied to. But who, by who, by... And there's a bitterness, and they live life through bitterness and resentment and anger. That's where the heart is closed, because it's like, I did everything wrong and I didn't get what I was supposed to get. If I did all of this, I was supposed to get happiness and joy and blessing, and just, I don't have that. So I've been robbed, or I've been lied to, I've been fooled, I've been betrayed. And it's nobody's betrayed anybody. There's no fingers to point, not even at ourselves in those circumstances. Is we were blind. It's ignorance. Is I was raised with this education, with this learning, with this what. I learned to belong, so I did all those things. And yet I didn't get to where I was going to get, because those people who taught me all of that did the same thing, and they also didn't get where they wanted to get. they're also the same. It's,
Mm.
a lot of the parenting, especially in the previous generation, I think now parents are really much more trying to be, understanding and trying to get what am I supposed to teach my kids? What does it mean to parent? But the previous generations, it was, well, do what I do to be just as miserable as me, but it's unconscious, obviously.
Mm.
But it's do as I do. Why? Because, and don't ask a lot of whys, because I don't ask them and I don't want to go there. And they did their best teaching us that, but it didn't work out for them.
Mm-hmm.
And we know now it's not working out for us because we are a generation that's really returning to the heart and want to feel good and not just be in survival. We want to live. And we are seeking that. It's like, I did all of that, didn't work out. So what is the answer? What am I supposed to do? But then we've got an attachment to that because we created it. So a lot of it is, it's like, it's the same process as mourning a marriage or mourning a company that you've built. It's how do you let go of a life you created because you know it doesn't feel good to you, but it is still a great creation. So then it's about going into the values, like what do I value more? What feels good? What looks good? Or what is next for me? And that is a process. It's a mourning process, just like you would mourn a lost one. So it's not overnight. A lot of people are like, I know I should leave this thing that I'm in. I know I should leave, but I'm not leaving, and it's creating guilt. And it's like, you shouldn't be feeling guilt, because the guilt is also based on the, thoughts and belief systems are saying, you're supposed to do this overnight. You're not supposed to do this overnight. You let go in your own time. It's like a big bowl of nuts, and you've got to untie a little nut every day until the whole rope has been, opened up. But it takes time. It's like, I have created a life over 15 years. You want me to leave all of this? For uncertainty? I can't. It's hard.
It is very hard. I remember that used to be my case when I was working corporate. I knew I wanted to leave for many, many months, years probably since I joined. I knew I wanted to leave that world. And I used to go see like my energy therapist and be like, I'm done. I want to leave. He's like, stop obsessing over it. You will know when you're ready and it will happen. Just keep working internally on all of these things and it will happen without you even having to overthink it. Your body will feel it.
Correct.
And that's the thing with our journeys. I feel, at least with me, it's been like, allow yourself to unravel, to unknot, to untie all of these things, and then trust in the wisdom that will come forth naturally, not by force. You don't want to, trauma we can see as like frozen waters in the body. And the way that I used to go about it is like, let me crack it.
Yeah.
Let me crack the water because it's frozen. And it's like, can you let the waters melt instead? And then things will flow. Things will come up to the surface. And then it'll just be washed away naturally. You don't need to do much about it. So I love that return to being because it is all in the being. It is all in the sitting through the discomfort and having the courage to actually turn your eyes inside of you and see where it hurts, and then reparent yourself, because a lot of it does have to do with reparenting and to be your own leader in your life. When you were talking about we were all blind, it's like the blind leading the blind, and it's like, actually, wait, maybe nobody knows where they're going anyway, and nobody knows what they're doing anyway. So I might as well look inside of me and take responsibility for my own life. Correct. And gear it in a way where it feels aligned with my values and who I came here to be. So I just want to say thank you so much. Like, just listening to you speak and share move things within me. So I'm sure it's going to move people too. And thank you for bringing your gifts and your talents, and for listening to that call and to follow it all the way.
Thank you. I love how we met, and I love that this friendship is ongoing.
Me
and
too.
I love what you do and your energy, and I can see us growing and moving and changing as well,
Me
which is
too.
so beautiful.
It really is. It is very special. I would say it feels like I've known you for hundreds of years.
It's true.
If
Well, we
gonna,
probably have. We
probably have.
we definitely have.
I got like goosebumps a bit, like